The weather's good.
Yeah,
Let's talk about something happy. It's Ross with 91 The Max. I'm sitting here with Aaron Bruno from AWOLNATION. How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Dude, I'm pumped about this weather. By the way, it's supposed to rain. It rains here every year, and so we really won the lottery with this this weather out here right now.
Well, last time we came, we didn't even make our show because our bus broke down and the weather was really bad. Once we even did get here, we still tried to fight through and make it to the show, but we didn't. And I just remember it being very muddy, walking around in the mud. So to go full circle now, it's cool because we did make it, and we brought the Southern California sun with us.
Nice, nice. By the way, your sock game is on point.
Thanks. I get that a lot. I guess I dress pretty plain other than the socks, so the socks are my flair.
Yeah, your flair. That's good. Everybody else in the band has the socks too. Did you bleed onto them?
I think a couple sock companies have started to give us some socks, so it's easy for them to wear cool socks because they show up at their house.
What is a sock? Like, all right, I know Hanes.
Stance is kind of like the new cool sock company.
Okay.
And they're doing really well. It's hard to find good socks, that actually don't make your feet cold, and look cool.
And whisk the sweat away.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to be too sweaty. But I can rock the same pair of socks for sometimes 5 days straight. It's a really strange talent I have. They don't get too bad. They don't smell too bad.
Okay.
And they stay okay.
I would think the sock stealing gnomes are so much more brutal and stronger on the road.
I stopped doing stage dives probably a year and a half ago now because it started with shoe stealing, and I care about my shoes. And then, so I started taking off my shoes also because I didn't want to hurt anyone. And then people started stealing my socks, so I retired.
All right.
Yeah.
People will just take anything if it's not bolted down.
But there were a couple times where I'm like, you know what, those socks meant a lot to me. Can someone please just throw the fucking socks back up here? And they usually would, so that was cool.
You have to actually make the announcement.
Yeah, I'd say, like, please give me my socks back. That's all I got. I'll be so cold the rest of the day if you don't give me my socks back, and they usually would.
I'll hook you up with a white pair and I'll autograph them.
Yes. I'd hope no one wants my weird sock,
People, you check out eBay?
Yeah, stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully I never become important enough that someone wants my socks. But I just noticed you guys have the #1 song on the alternative charts right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Because you guys came out on the scene and you had Sail, and that's in rent-a-car commercials. That's on everything now. Like everybody.
I've never seen it on a rent-a-car commercial.
I might have just made that up.
Yeah.
But I did hear it a lot in a lot of places.
Yeah.
So just seeing how you guys have that momentum going, and you guys came back with a new album, Run. How does it feel to have that kind of, I don't know, validation, but how's it feel?
Well, it's a huge sigh of relief because I think a lot of people would assume, there's a lot of sophomore follow-ups to debut success stories, right? And there's quite a few bands that have come out recently with their sophomoric efforts and failed for whatever reason. Either the stars didn't align, or the business model was flawed, or the songs just didn't connect, or maybe the songs just weren't good enough. You never really know, but and there's some songs that I've heard that I thought should have been bigger that didn't do well. And so if nothing else, we just started. It's kind of like the release of this new record was painful for me, much like giving birth is painful. But also the most beautiful experience that a human can have, from what I've heard, of course. And but it was painful, and now we have this entity in Run kind of starting to grow and learning how to crawl and hopefully be able to walk eventually, and then run and so forth and so on. So to have Hollow Moon do what it's doing is an absolute blessing and a surprise to me because it was such a strange song, and I'm still very grateful and humbled by this whole experience, and can't believe that I get to make music for a living. So any time there's some sort of achievement like charting or platinum sales of any kind, it seems hilariously bizarre to me that it's happened, and I just feel real happy that I didn't have to figure out something else to do with my life, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's such a great attitude, because I guess that's humility in a nutshell.
Well, I've failed so many times, and all the other bands I was in never really saw the light of day, so this is all new to me.
What was the thing that you were going to be pushed in if it wasn't music?
I don't know. I have so much music in me, so I'm able to write songs that are usually catchy, regardless of if you like them or not. Just because a song's catchy doesn't mean it's good, you know, or cool for that matter. So, you know, I have all these ideas. So I think I was just trying to stay in music one way or another, either to write songs for other maybe pop artists, or but that's a hard game as well, or maybe commercial jingles. I was looking at a couple other possibilities, but I didn't know. I didn't really think what I was going to do next because I'd put everything into the craft of songwriting. So I think I always knew inside that eventually, one way or another, something would land for me and I'd be all right.
Right on, right on. You said it was painful. The record was painful. Was it because
to release? Yeah.
It's just to release, not to write. Like
not to write. It was fun to write. It was scary at times, but exciting. You know, it was for me. The sophomore follow-up kind of stranger record was a fantasy for me. You know, something I always wanted to do. All my favorite bands made incredible sophomore records and efforts, and some did good, some didn't. But either way, I was always a fan of the ambitious effort of doing something different. You know, and this was the first time I had anticipation for an album to actually come out. I'd only made debuts before, so this is the first like time where millions of eyes would actually, or ears would be, you know, on the record. So I saw it as an opportunity to push the boundaries even further and just freak people out even more. And yeah, so you know, most people say you spend your whole life making your first record and then you have 6 months to make your second record.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like I spent my whole life making the second record because this is the record I always wanted to make. It's sort of a fantasy album for me.
Really, because there wasn't any other influence besides just kind of your vision.
Well, the first record was more of an experiment. You know, it was this name I had and some songs that a few of my friends liked. You know, and I just put it all together. And I'm genreless. I don't consider myself rock, alternative, or pop, or whatever. It's a little bit of everything, you know. So
you can't help it. You're gonna throw
yeah,
I
didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know what song was gonna do best and what song was gonna do the worst. I had no idea. Certainly didn't think it'd be Sail. And because it was, though, I think it gave me artistic freedom and confidence to make a strange record because it was such a strange song that ended up selling millions of copies. So I was blessed with artistic license for sure.
And I think we've been over 5 minutes. I don't want to keep you. I know you want to.
That's okay.
But what's the band? You said like there's a couple of bands that came out with their sophomore albums. Who's the band that you don't think you wish would get more notoriety? The people.
There's no band I feel that way really about. I just
Okay.
you know, there's a couple. You know, Foster the People. They came out with their sophomore record. It failed. But the song, I think the song was called Coming of Age. And I thought that was a cool song. You know. Why it didn't do as good as some of the other songs on their first record, I'm not sure. But you just got to be careful and you know, hope for the best and expect the worst. That's my mentality. You know?
I like that. I like that. Keeps your expectations in check.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, I don't want to keep you. I appreciate you talking to us, man. And it was awesome, man. I love music. You don't have. Are you still gonna put the AW on your hands?
And
I'm sorry.
I don't know. You know, I realized that probably putting Sharpie ink on my skin every night is not a good thing. You know. So I think I'm gonna get creative and build it out of tape, like gaff tape or something from now. But maybe it depends on if I'm on. It comes from the hardcore scene. You know, we were straight edge kids, so we put X's on our hands back in the day. So it's just this camaraderie feeling of being in a gang or something that is fun. And I don't always do it, but when I'm in the mood, feeling kind of frisky, maybe I'll bust it out. You know.
Well, you said you went vegan. Is that like recently?
I've been.
Because I know it's hard to eat.
It's almost impossible to stay for me to follow that all the time, but it is my effort and goal to not eat animal products. You know, I feel better when I don't. It's not a political thing, although I do love animals. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But you know, and I'm not here to preach or anything like that. But it works better for my body and how I feel physically, and sort of mentally as well. But as much traveling as we do, sometimes you know, I need to have a coffee in the morning, and I do not have almond milk or coconut milk or whatever as a option. So I'll have a little bit of half and half once in a while or something like that.
You just go straight cowboy coffee, have it black.
Sometimes, but I'm not man enough like my dad. You know, he just drinks his coffee black, and I'm always so jealous. That's fucking badass.
Yeah.
I need a little bit more to help me. You know,
I
I'll rip
understand.
espresso straight. That's different. But yeah, coffee black. That's 10 years from now. That's my goal.
You like Cuban coffee?
Sure.
That stuff's rocket fuel.
Yeah.
That'll send you flying.
Yeah, I like anything that lifts me up because I'm always so, you know, tired for multiple reasons. Yeah.
I hear you. Man, it was a pleasure too.
Cool.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you so much.